Mariah Carey, welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Eddie.
We've been inundated with messages from your fans since we announced you were coming on the show last week. So firstly, say hi to them. And secondly, your fans, they're not just fans, they're so passionate, they're enamoured. That must mean so much to you.
No, I have the best fans on the planet. I don't care what anybody else says. They just are. I just did my memoir this year, just a couple months ago, and very excited. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. So such a sense of accomplishment. But I talk about my fans in the book a lot because they really are like, and always were a sense of having like an actual family to me. So that's what one of the chapters about them is called. And I think it's very apropos that we're having this conversation with all this festiveness around us in honor of them.
I'm loving all this festiveness. Well, this year it's felt like we've wanted to put up the Christmas tree since September. So I'm very pleased to be talking about Christmas now. Why do you think the world needs your magical Christmas special so much now, Mariah?
Well, I feel like we always need some festivities, like always. The Mariah Carey's magical Christmas special was so much fun to do, such a labor of love. Obviously, like you said, we've all wanted to put up our Christmas trees. Like, you know, how soon can we do it? I had this moment I haven't shared with anybody. I was just, you know, in the New York apartment for like the first 4.5 months of COVID with the kids and our little group, our pod. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, when everyone was like getting a lot of stuff and groceries and canned goods and things, we went through that in New York. We were there for a really long time, as I said. And then I sat there, I was like, wait a minute. I better get Christmas decorations because what if people get all the decorations and they don't have any? Of course, I'm thinking about this like in March, but I was really going to do that. And look, here we are.
Well, I tell you what, that panic buying of Christmas decorations has now surely paid off. Mariah, when you share so much about your life, I want to mention that, your pod. How do you protect them in a time like this? How do you bring your kids in closer, make sure that the people that mean so much to you are safe?
Well, I mean, we are extremely strict about everything. I was, again, in the first part, and now even still, but way worse in the beginning of this whole situation, I wouldn't even go up to my treadmill without Lysoling the whole thing down, redoing the whole thing. It's not that other people aren't doing it. I just feel like I took it a little bit to the extreme, but I've always been this way. Not that bad, but, you know. So the people around me have always, like, because as a singer, you don't want to get a cold, no matter what. I'm not calling this a cold. I'm saying that's always been my philosophy because I know that is so, that it lays you out, you know, to get any kind of situation with that. So, you know, we just stay. I haven't been anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'll work and be at home. Like, I don't need to go sit at a restaurant. You know, we're thankful that the restaurants are still providing people with food and pick up, delivery and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I have no need to go anywhere if I'm not doing something with the kid. Like, it's just like, you know, safety is more important. I'll go to a place, but then it's a complete, you know, washing down of everything and just doing all these COVID compliant things because we have to. And then we'll get to the next thing. Whatever it is, we're having Christmas, okay? That's what's happening.
Well, you work like a trooper. You've brought together for this special 3 of the most amazing voices. Yourself, of course, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson as well. There must have been a really special energy when those voices were combined.
I do feel like there was a special energy. And as a songwriter, because I wrote the song we sang together. It's called Oh Santa. I recorded it from my album Merry Christmas to You, and it's one of my favorites. Like, I have fun doing it at my Christmas show every year. So when we were putting together this special, I thought, oh, that'd be a really cute song to do, kind of like a Supremes type of a vibe, like a girls group from back in the days. And so we just had fun with it. We played with it, and I think people are going to enjoy it.
You've spoken before about your own childhood, how Christmas was quite hard. In fact, All I Want for Christmas is a song you wrote about being or wanting to be a carefree young girl. So what kind of Christmas do you try to create for your kids each year? And in amongst all the extravagance, is there a special tradition you really hold dear?
Oh, well, since you said dear, we literally have reindeer there every year. We have Santa comes and hangs out with us. We go on a sleigh ride, we go sledding, and I actually said to my daughter, I was like, how would you feel if we kind of didn't do that this year? Because we're not going to be able to do all the things with all the people. Like, part of the thing is going and being around people. And she was like, I would be so sad. And I'm like, I felt bad because I would too. That's why we're figuring out ways. I mean, we're not taking public, we're not going around a lot of people in terms of getting there. We wouldn't do that. But, we will be at the North Pole. So, what are you going to do?
I know you have a huge celebration. Is it right that you cook your own Christmas dinner for the entire family? You insist on it?
I cook on Christmas Eve. And we talk about, in my memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, we talk about certain things that are important to me. There's a recipe that my dad was an incredible cook. And he didn't cook on Christmas. He wasn't like festive or into the holidays really, but he did make this one signature dish that for years I couldn't figure out like what it was or how he did it. And then he gave me the recipe. It was one of the last things before he passed away from cancer years ago now. But he gave me that recipe, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I see what the secret ingredients were and why I could never get it right and why nobody could ever make it the way he made it. So I do that on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas, look, I do have people helping me. I'm not going to say no one helps me. I could do it if I had the whole day to do it. I love cooking, and I love cooking at Christmas. And I've been waiting to actually get fully immersed in the cooking thing. Because at first, during COVID, it was like everything was all about dinner. Like, what are we having for dinner? What's the cooking? What are we making? Like, because I wasn't going to restaurant, and still am not. But, just now ordering and stuff from places. But it became the event. But I wanted to still be an event for me on Christmas. So I haven't made my father's linguine with white clam sauce. I haven't done any of that stuff, and I'm waiting for the moment to be right.
Well, the moment is nearly here. Mariah, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us on Sunrise.
Thank you so much, Eddie. It was great to talk to you. Merry Christmas early.
You too. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you. Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special premieres tomorrow exclusively on Apple TV+. Guys, the one, the only Mariah Carey.